event of a crisis, NATO must quickly assemble and deploy forces to defend its allies by whatever means necessary, land, sea, or air. But pulling off this logistical feat requires practice. NATO allies conduct a wide range of exercises to test their ability to rapidly deploy troops directly into combat. Here is what you want to know on how NATO deploys troops around the world and why they have to do it rapidly. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, is an international military alliance of 30 member countries from North America and Europe. As part of its deterrence and defense posture, NATO maintains a military presence in the eastern part of its territory. This includes the deployment of multinational battle groups in several Eastern European countries, namely Bulgaria, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Romania and Slovakia, as well as the deployment of additional ships, planes, and troops to the region. In response to Russia's intervention in Ukraine, NATO recently announced the deployment of its response force, a rapid reaction, multinational, crisis response and defense force that is capable of addressing a range of situations. The force is commanded by the Supreme Allied Commander in Europe and consists of 40,000 troops from NATO member countries, who contribute on a rotational basis. The response force's activation does not imply that any NATO or US forces will enter Ukraine, which is not a member. Instead, a red line is intended to be drawn between Ukraine and NATO members, allowing for the movement of resources and assets as needed. The plan is to dissuade Vladimir Putin of Russia and prevent a conflict from spreading outside of Ukraine. The response force's flexibility and capacity to act rapidly in a variety of situations is its main advantage. The force was activated as Moscow issued warnings to Finland and Sweden against joining NATO, saying that such a move would have severe military-political ramifications. Before Moscow issued these threats, the Western nations had already started relocating their soldiers and military hardware. Sweden and Finland are both members of the European Union, which has a similar mutual defense provision even though it is not a member of NATO. The other EU nations will use all available means to defend the invaded nation. A crucial component of NATO's bolstered deterrent and defense posture, which has been improved in recent years to match the changing security reality in the Euro-Atlantic region, is the military presence of the alliance in its eastern region. The security landscape in Europe has been profoundly altered by Russia's unlawful and illegitimate annexation of Crimea and full-fledged invasion of Ukraine. In response, NATO has greatly increased its readiness to protect and defend all allies. The deployment of allied forces is defensive, proportionate, open, and consistent with the alliance's obligations under international law. It is a concrete reminder that an attack on one NATO ally is an attack on all allies, and it shows a major commitment by allies. The 8 multinational battle groups that make up NATO's forward presence are provided on a voluntary, completely sustainable, and rotating basis by the framework countries and other contributing allies. The combat groups are always present in the host nations and work in tandem with the local home defense forces. The size and makeup of the battle groups vary. They are adapted to certain regional conditions and threats. Overall, the makeup of each battle group is dictated by military necessities. Today, the service, training, and exercise of troops and personnel from all allies shows the strength of the alliance's solidarity and unity. Forces from contributing nations rotate in and out of the battle groups. At any given time, they may be stationed in their home countries with the capability of fast deploying, if necessary, or deployed to the battle groups. The multinational Corps Northeast headquarters in Szczecin, Poland, is in charge of NATO's 4 northeastern battle groups, which are located in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland. The training and planning efforts of 2 division-level headquarters are coordinated for each battle group. Since December 2018, the multinational division Northeast headquarters in Elbląg, Poland, has been fully operational. Working closely with the battle groups in Poland and Lithuania is this headquarters. NATO launched a supplemental multinational division North headquarters in October 2020, and it is working toward being fully operational. While the majority of its offices are in Karup, Denmark, its forward components are situated in Adaci, Latvia. This HQ maintains tight ties with the battle groups in Latvia and Estonia. The establishment and integration of the 4 new battle groups in Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, and Slovakia into the NATO command structure is now ongoing. Many national initiatives implemented by allies also contribute to enhanced allied action in the eastern half of the alliance, despite not being formally a part of NATO's forward presence. NATO's rapid reinforcement strategy ensures that forward presence forces will be reinforced by NATO's Very High Readiness Joint Task Force, VJTF, the broader NATO response force, Allies' additional high readiness forces, and NATO's heavier follow-on forces, if necessary.
At the 2022 NATO summit in Madrid, allies agreed a new NATO force model, which represents a broader expansion of high readiness forces potentially available to NATO where and when required.
The details of the NATO force model, including its precise scale and composition, continue to be developed. The transition to the new model is planned to be completed in 2023. The Allies have agreed to enhance NATO's ability to reinforce its forces in the East by implementing a number of measures. These include the development of more pre-positioned equipment and weapon stockpiles, as well as the deployment of additional integrated air and missile defense systems. In addition, the Allies have agreed to strengthen command and control and upgrade defense plans, with specific forces being pre-assigned to the defense of individual member countries. This will enable NATO to better respond to potential threats and defend its eastern flank. In order to reinforce their allies even faster, these pre-assigned soldiers will collaborate with existing forces, including both domestic home defense forces and allied forward presence forces, and get familiar with the local topography, infrastructure, and pre-positioned supplies. NATO has increased its military presence in the eastern part of the alliance as a direct result of Russia's behavior, which reflects a pattern of aggressive actions against its neighbors and the wider transatlantic community. Russia is the most significant and direct threat to Allies' security and to peace and stability in the Euro-Atlantic area. Allies agreed at the NATO summit in Wales in September 2014 to implement the Readiness Action Plan, RAP, in order to respond swiftly to the fundamental changes in the security environment on NATO's borders and further afield. NATO opted to strengthen its presence in the region to further enhance situational awareness in reaction to Russia's actions in the Black Sea region in November 2018. Additionally, Allies increased training and drills for Coast Guards and Marine forces, as well as port visits, to support Georgia and Ukraine. The Allies have committed more ships, planes, and troops to NATO territory in Eastern and Southern Europe in response to Russia's aggressive and unlawful invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, strengthening the alliance's deterrence and military posture. The NATO Response Force's highest readiness component has for the first time been deployed to Romania, along with thousands of additional soldiers to the alliance's battle groups, fighter jets to support NATO air policing missions, strengthen naval forces in the Baltic and Mediterranean seas, and increase troop readiness. NATO's forward presence demonstrates the alliance's solidarity, determination, and ability to act immediately in response to any aggression. Training and exercises in support of NATO's forward presence give Allied forces experience working together, resulting in enhanced readiness and interoperability. New dangers and difficulties are continually arising, and the security climate in the Euro-Atlantic region is still changing. The alliance adjusts and plans in accordance with the security environment, and its forward presence will continue for as long as necessary. The alliance will keep working to maintain a credible, consistent, and resilient posture. All NATO actions are defensive, reasonable, and in line with international agreements, and they always will be. With this, the transparency that has distinguished the alliance's forward presence from its creation will continue. What move do you think NATO will make by the year 2023? If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos.